Hi, and welcome to the Rogue Entity Anim to Texture utility. I've created this utility to help myself and others create Anim to Texture setups. So this utility will go from a skeletal mesh and create your static material with the Anim to Texture textures and bake them into your material so you can use your Anim to Texture characters in-game. We'll start by installing the plugin to a new project. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new project, give it a name, store it where you want to store it. You could use any template. I'll just be using a blank one, and there's a tutorial static mesh character in there that I'm going to use. So that's be a fine example, but you could use it with the the third person model or anything like that. You just need a skeleton. So I highly recommend using 5.6. I'm pretty sure this will work with anything from 5.4 above. There is some things that have changed in 5.5 particularly, and perhaps 5.6 that like Nanite working with Anim to texture objects and stuff. So this will be the same process for you installing in your existing project. But we need to install the Unreal's Anim to Texture plugin first. So we're just going to go to plugins, search Anim to Texture, and just add that. And instead of restarting, I'm just going to exit. So I'm going to drop in the Rogue Anim to Texture plugin. So I can do that later. We won't need the C++ for this example, so you can close that. And then in the directory where you've downloaded my plugin, just extract that. And then you'll just edit in Rogue Anim to Texture plugin content. So we're going to cut that, take it to our project, plop it in a plugins directory. If you don't have one, create one. Now inside here, inside documentation, you'll find documentation on how to use it, how to set it up. And I'll be covering most of this stuff here, but that's a reference that you'll have there. So once we've got that installed, we can redo our files, is recommended. So it's recommended to do this after you install any plugin, refresh the binaries. And then I'll just launch the project. You might get a message like this after deleting those things. So yes. All right, back in the editor, you can confirm that it's installed by either looking here and seeing. If you can't see those files, as usual, just check you've got show plugin content on. That'll show that plugin directory. And then you've got the plugin content here. So the utility is actually located in here. And if you right click on that and go run editor utility widget, you'll get this window. So you can dock this anywhere you want to, but we'll just leave it freestanding for now. And I'm going to prepare, actually what I might do while I'm doing this, I will dock it up here. So I'm going to locate that tutorial character that I mentioned. So I believe it's in search for tutorial. Let's search in here. Go cancel that. Plugins. Search tutorial. And we want, why isn't that coming up? Oh wait, we need to be in the, oh sorry, I was on plugins. I need to be selected on engine. There we go. And then this guy here, this is so we need to grab this character's skeletal mesh. I'm going to make a copy of it. I'm just going to put it in a new directory here. So I recommend making a new directory for whatever you're working on, even if you're working on something existing, because this will determine the location where all the other, where did I put that? Oh, didn't even put it in there. This will create all the other files in this directory, and if you can keep it all separate that way. So now to use the tool, let me, yep, there we go. You can either assign the skeletal mesh here or just have it selected in the content browser, and we click create static mesh here. But each step is outlined here and what to do. There is some manual steps we're going to have to do that I couldn't automate. So the first one creates the static mesh and assigns it in your setup here. And now we have to do this manual step to set up the material for our static mesh. So the instructions which I showed you before, oh, it says instructions there, but it's in documentation. I'll update that. But so that documentation will step you through how to do all these steps that it's mentioning. So the first step we've already done. We've installed the plugin. We've loaded the utility. And now we've got to add some nodes to the material. So what we're going to do is we're, again, just going to make a copy of that material. So let's just find what material this is using. So open up our static mesh. Everything's going to open in another window. It's really annoying me. So locate the mesh for that static mesh we copied. And we need the actual material, not a material instance, which this is. So I'm just going to copy that, put that in our working directory here, and then we're going to open that up. So following on from these steps, we've made a copy of the material, we've found the main material, made a copy of it. Now in the directory, so if we come to plugins, the Anim to texture, and under materials, you'll see this material function now. I've just put in a material function, so it's really just a storage point for you to copy out these nodes. It doesn't work, and it also, you can't just connect up this material function with an input because it doesn't like using material function for this step. So just copy these nodes and place them in the material. Now, any material you use is going to have to use material attributes. So if you've got a material that doesn't have material attributes like this, it might just be connected up to the node. So like if you click on the material node, you can see here, if this isn't using material attributes, we don't break the whole material. You might have just something like this with the textures connected. All you need to do is add the make material. I've got the steps for this in the documentation. So make material attributes, add that node, and then disconnect your materials from the main material there into this. And then I think I might have broken this material in my actual engine. It's not meant to be like this. It's actually got the copy paste already in there. So let's find another material and I'll show you. Back, tutorial material. What's this? Doesn't have anything in it. Well, I'll do the setup here, okay? So let's just go back here. Copy this. This is what your material will look like. So it'll have color. I think one of these was metallic or something. I can't remember what they were exactly. Surface color. I'll do something like that. So you open up your material, it'll look like this. All you need to do is add that materials node. Make material attributes. If you hold control, you can just grab those off. And you know, it might have more complex material than this. Whatever you've got, just reconnect it through this make materials. What was that, subsurface color? And then on your material here, click this use material attributes, so that crunches that down. And then go to here and grab this and paste it in. And just connect it through like that. And then that is what we need for the Anim to texture to auto update your layers when we build the Anim to texture. Now there's some specific changes that we need to make to our static mesh. So if we come back to this is our one, I believe. Check that. Yep. So if we come into the mesh here, if you come down to build settings and just untick generate light maps. I think it was 5.5. You need to untick this for Anim to texture animation so that it'll work. Now, if you want to enable Nanite, which I do recommend, you'll get a performance boost from it. You need to, enable Nanite, and then you need to untick lerp UVs, and then click apply changes. Actually, I forgot to apply changes. So after you untick generate light maps here, see it re-ticked because I applied and I didn't apply this. So make sure you untick that and then click apply changes, and that'll be good. So that should be all good for the character. However, if you are going to use Nanite, you need to bypass, in the material, you need to bypass the normal. So where's this tutorial? So this is the setup from my material function that we copied in. If you're going to use Nanite, you need to bypass this normal here and do it that way. You still need the world position offset, so keep that in, but you can delete this node if you want. So I'll leave that like that. So now that we've updated the material, I'm going to close this one so I don't get confused. And then, so we come to this material. I've edited the engine one again. Jesus, doesn't matter. Let's move this actually. I better not move it. Probably break some other engine crap. I'm going to copy it, my demo directory. I'm going to get rid of that one because I didn't end up using it. And then I'm going to create a material instance. So right click, create material instance. Call it mi demo. That's meant to be an I, not a 1. There we go. Call this m. There we go. And then in our static mesh, so select that. Now static mesh, we'll make sure we've got the material instance on there. So now that that's set up, when we build our Anim to textures, all the layers will be automatically updated in the material. So we can come back to the utility now. And let's just check off these steps. So it says follow instructions, create the material instance, disable light map UVs and click the build settings and click apply. We did that. And then we did the optional Nanite stuff as well. So that's all done. We can tell it material is updated. And if you don't go to the next step, there's probably something missing, like you haven't got the material instance in there or something like that. So if it doesn't go to this next step, there's something wrong. So now we're up to the animation part. So we need to assign some animations here. So I'm going to just throw in 2. You can do as many as you like. I'm going to use the tutorial idle. The order does make a difference here. So the order will be how it comes up in the material. So the way the Anim's texture materials work is the first set of frames, however many frames it is for the animations. Let's just say it's 30. So 0 to 30 will be idle, and then 30 to 96 will be the walk forward in the material, and then you can set the start and end frame to get that animation. So that'll be, if you've got multiple characters and you want them to have the same animation and you want to be able to switch them to those animations. So for instance, index 0 will always be idle. It's really handy to have later. And I'll do another video on how to set up a character to use multiple animations probably. So just remember that order matters. So the animations are updated. That's gone through. So that's telling us that we did something right. So now we're going to create all the assets. So it's baking the textures as well. You can see them coming up. There we go. So now we can either reset the utility or do something else. One thing I will do in a later version of this is make it so you can put for example, the same data asset in with the skeletal mesh, and then just rebuild animations maybe onto some different settings. But for now, you need to start from the start and go right through, and you can reset the utility. Reset will just reset everything back to the start, and you can go again. But if you come to that directory now, you can see that you've got all the files here, and if the data asset here, you want to keep this. So this is really handy for later on when you want to set them up. And you can see under animations, we've got the frame ranges. So 0 to 188 is idle, 189, 244 is, I think it was walk forward or something. Yeah, so there's the settings. And you can tweak these, and that's what I was saying, it'll be handy to be able to tweak these and rebuild. So like if you want a smaller texture size, something like that. So 8K texture for 2 animations is probably way overkill, but no, the other thing, let's just save all these files. What's this? Oh, it's the map. I want to save the map. If you come to your material instance and over to layer parameters and open this up, this is where you'll see the textures. So we've got some end frames. If you want to preview the walk forward animation, you can change the start and end frame here manually. But these are the scalar parameters you can update at runtime to switch those variables. So we should be able to, don't worry about the material looking crazy in the previews. It should still work. So if we come down, oh my God. There's a camera speed in this. Still getting used to 5.6, the change stuff, so bear with me. It's here somewhere. I know it is. Someone's screaming at me. It's right there, man. So if we drag our static mesh in, there we go, he's animated. So he's doing his thing. And he's good to go. So if hopefully, I know I've been making quite a few of these, and I just got sick of doing the whole manual process. So the tool's helping me. I hope it helps someone else. For the anim to texture, I'll try and do a video on how to set up a character to work with animations with the texture to animations. Thanks to the Patreons for all the support. It allows me to keep making stuff like this. Hope this helps some people out and save some time. Thanks for watching.